1. America loves the hero myth, the lone guardian standing between chaos and civilization. But we never ask what that costs. We build statues, write songs, make movies glorifying the protector. The Jedi were the ultimate American fantasy. Righteous warriors keeping the peace through superior skill and moral clarity. But strip away the lightsabers, and what you have is a child soldier program wrapped in religious doctrine. We celebrate them because we'd never survive what they endured. That's not heroism. That's exploitation with good PR, too. They took you from your parents at 3 years old. That's younger than preschool. Imagine the government knocking on your door, saying your kid is special, and you'll never see them again. No weekends home, no phone calls, no graduations where mom cries in the audience. The Jedi Order operated like a cult masquerading as Harvard. American culture screams family values, but we romanticize an organization that made orphans by policy. The foundation of every Jedi's life was state-sanctioned kidnapping. We just called it destiny. 3. You couldn't fall in love. In a galaxy of trillions, you had to be alone. Americans obsess over finding the one. Our entire entertainment industry runs on love stories. Rom-coms, love songs, dating apps. We've monetized human connection. But Jedi? Forbidden. You could die for strangers but couldn't hold hands with someone who mattered. Anakin didn't fall to the dark side because he was evil. He fell because loving his wife was treated like a felony. We preach follow your heart until it conflicts with institutional control. 4. Every mission was Afghanistan or Iraq, except you went alone at 23 with a laser sword. No platoon, no air support, no therapy when you came back with PTSD. The Republic sent you into war zones as diplomat, warrior, peacekeeper. A job description that would make a Navy SEAL laugh. You negotiated with terrorists one day, led infantry charges the next. No RNR, no rotation home, just another planet, another impossible situation. Americans wave flags for troops, but give them broken VA hospitals. The Jedi got it worse. They didn't even get the flag waving. 5. You felt every death around you, not metaphorically, literally through the Force. Imagine 9/11. But you personally felt all 3,000 deaths as they happened. That's every battle for a Jedi. Soldier dies 50 feet away, you feel his last thought. Planet destroyed, billions of screams in your mind simultaneously. Americans talk about thoughts and prayers. Jedi didn't get to distance themselves with platitudes. They were cosmically forced to experience everyone's trauma. The Force wasn't a superpower. It was mandatory empathy without the option to look away. 6. The Jedi Code was designed to fail. Like abstinence-only education. There is no emotion, there is peace. That's not philosophy. That's repression guaranteed to create dysfunction. You can't logic your way out of feelings. Americans understand this. We invented therapy culture, self-help books, mental health awareness. But the Jedi? Meditate harder. Feeling angry? That's your fault for being weak. It's the same failed logic as just say no to drugs or pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Systems that blame individuals for systemic design flaws. 7. You were celebrity and servant. Worshipped on Instagram but paid in exposure. Senators wanted selfies with you. Planets through parades. But try to have boundaries? Selfish. Want recognition? Pride. Americans know this hustle. The influencer grind. The essential worker praised as hero but paid minimum wage. Jedi were the ultimate gig economy workers. All responsibilities, zero benefits. And if you complained, you weren't grateful enough. You existed for everyone else's narrative. Your own needs were inconvenient plot points. 8. The Jedi Council was boomers refusing to adapt. And you died for their stubbornness. 900-year-old Yoda making decisions based on we've always done it this way. Sound familiar? Palpatine played them like a fiddle because they couldn't imagine the game had changed. It's every corporate board, every political gerontocracy refusing to see what's obvious to younger generations. Kagan had solutions. They rejected him. Ahsoka saw corruption. They dismissed her. You died in wars that outdated thinking allowed. Age doesn't equal wisdom when you're 800 years behind the times. 9. Your only friends were also your competition. Like corporate culture meets monastery. Can't be too close, that's attachment. Can't share doubts, that's weakness. Every relationship was performative vulnerability under institutional surveillance. Americans understand toxic workplace culture. The Jedi perfected it. Imagine your best friend is also who HR uses to evaluate your cultural fit. Obi-Wan and Anakin were brothers who couldn't actually be honest with each other. Brotherhood as brand, not reality. You were alone in a community of thousands. That's not fellowship. That's LinkedIn with robes. 10. Training never ended. No retirement, no graduation. No, you made it. In America, we have finish lines. Graduate high school, get the degree, make partner, retire at 65. Jedi? Never. At 50, you're still being tested. At 100, still proving yourself. The goalposts moved infinitely backward. You couldn't make it because it didn't exist. It's the worst of American hustle culture. Endless grind with no payoff, combined with monastic self-denial. Work until you literally die. And we wonder why Jedi fell to the dark side like executives having breakdowns. 11. Your lightsaber was part of your soul. Losing it was like losing a limb you could still feel. Americans fetishize guns, cars, heirlooms, objects with emotional weight. Now imagine that object is literally attuned to your life force. Losing your lightsaber wasn't dropping your phone. It was phantom limb syndrome for your spirit. But the order said, it's just a thing, rebuild it. That's boomer logic. I walked to school uphill both ways, you'll be fine. Trauma doesn't vanish because you replace the object. The scar remains. But Jedi weren't allowed to acknowledge scars. 12. You saw the future, and it made you paranoid, not powerful. Anakin's visions of Padme dying destroyed him. Yoda foresaw the purge and couldn't stop it. Imagine knowing 9/11 was coming, but not when, where, or how to prevent it. That's Jedi visions, spoilers without context. Do you act and risk causing it? Do nothing and enable it? Americans barely handle weather forecasts. Jedi had apocalypse previews on loop with no pause button. Precognition wasn't clairvoyance. It was cosmic anxiety disorder without medication. 13. Clone troopers were your brothers until their programming made them your executioners. You ate together, fought together, saved each other's lives. Rex, Cody, real bonds. Then Order 66 hits, and those same men shoot you in the back without hesitation. Not betrayal. Worse, indifference. It's every American fear about technology and control distilled. Your trust was code waiting for activation. Years of friendship erased by a single command. Your last moments were watching friends kill you like deleting files. No malice, no regret, just execution. 14. When everything collapsed, the galaxy blamed you for not stopping what was orchestrated in shadows. Where were the Jedi? Classic American scapegoating. Palpatine worked within bureaucracy, manipulated laws, hid in plain sight for decades. You can't read minds, that's illegal. You can't overthrow democracy, that's tyranny. But when his plan succeeds, the Jedi failed us. It's blaming teachers for school shootings, doctors for pandemics, cops for systemic crime. Institutions create problems, individuals get blamed. The Republic failed. Jedi were just the convenient targets after. 15. Every Padawan you trained could become your killer. That's not paranoia. That's statistics. Dooku betrayed. Anakin slaughtered younglings. You poured decades into a student. Trust them with everything. Love them like a son. And there's always that shadow. Will this one destroy me? In America, we fear our kids won't call on holidays. Jedi feared theirs would hunt them across the galaxy. It wasn't teaching. It was Russian roulette with generational trauma. Most Jedi who survived Order 66 were killed by former students. Mentorship as mutually assured destruction. 16. You had access to everything but ownership of nothing. Spiritual homelessness in a golden cage. Magnificent temples, but none were yours. Clothes, always identical. Meals, never chosen. It's megachurch pastor poverty. Looks holy, feels hollow. Americans define freedom through property. Your car, your house, your stuff. Jedi had none of that. No photos, no collections, no personalization. Your entire identity was cosplay of 10,000 others. Individualism expressed only through how you killed. That's not enlightenment. That's institutionalized erasure. 17. Meditation wasn't spiritual practice. It was mandatory medication for your sanity. Miss a day, emotions leak. Miss a week, irritability spikes. Miss a month, dark side, whispers start. Americans get this. We're a nation on SSRIs and therapy apps. But imagine if meditation was your only treatment, and failure meant you're evil. Not mentally ill, evil. The difference between Jedi and Sith wasn't morality. It was access to coping mechanisms. You weren't more virtuous. You were more disciplined at repression. That's not health. That's a ticking time bomb with breathing exercises. 18. The Republic used you like essential workers, then offered thoughts and prayers when you died, sent to wars they caused, asked to fix crises their greed created. But when Jedi died, no memorials, no benefits for non-existent families. You were the ultimate disposable hero. Senators cried when you saved their kids, then cut your funding. It's every American worker during COVID, heroes in speeches, expendable in budgets. Performative, respect for cameras. Bureaucratic, neglect in reality. You weren't valued. You were convenient. 19. You knew the order was broken, but leaving meant abandoning everyone who needed you. Kagan saw it. Dooku recognized it. Ahsoka walked away. Every thoughtful Jedi eventually realized. This system is corrupt. But leaving meant abandoning younglings, deserting a galaxy without protectors. So you stayed, not from belief, but obligation. It's every American trapped in jobs they hate because of health care, debt, family needs. You weren't a hero by choice. You were a prisoner of responsibility, maintaining a failing institution because collapse seemed worse. 20. Being a Jedi was never about you. It was about everyone else's comfort. That kid sleeping safely on Tatooine because you stopped raiders. The refugee on Ryloth who survived because you negotiated peace. The clone who got 5 extra seconds with his brothers because you drew fire. Every ounce of your suffering bought fragments of others' happiness. You didn't exist to thrive. You existed so others could. Americans love that sacrifice when it's distant. We make movies about it, but we'd never sign up. That's the truth. We love the Jedi because we didn't have to be them. We don't celebrate heroes. We celebrate our freedom from having to be heroic. The Jedi were the ultimate cultural projection. Warriors who sacrificed everything so we could Netflix and complain. We worship them in fiction because it lets us feel noble without cost. The brown robes weren't symbols of power. They were funeral shrouds worn by the living. When the Order fell, the galaxy didn't lose protectors. It lost the mirrors reflecting everything we're too comfortable to become. We called them guardians. They were warnings we refused to read.